them lonesome cowboys. Boy, don't they look laid back. They're out here checking out the scenery. There's Michael.
Mike Strantz was this larger-than-life maverick, and there's very few people that are willing to take the chances that he did.
Unbelievable. What is?
This golf course is going to be unbelievable.
You got me convinced.
When I walk the grounds on any site, you just get out there and I just feel things. You don't know why you do it, you just do it. It's a second nature, I guess.
Mike wanted a challenge when he golfed. He wanted the experience. So that's what he designed. He designed an experience.
My dad didn't do anything halfway. He engrossed himself in it.
We've had golf course designer after golf course designer, and nobody's been like him.
Real artistry. It was his drive.
Art's very much a spiritual thing. It's a thing of feeling. It's a thing of beauty, and it touches a part of the human soul that I don't think other things do. And that's the way that I tend to look at golf course architecture. It's functional artwork to me.
He was good at what he did.
You have been rated #1 in the country. What, do you consider yourself the best?
When I was old enough to start working, 15, 16 years old, I worked at the golf course, just pushing the mower, cutting underneath trees, just any kind of menial thing you can think about. Just fell in love with that kind of work. And when it was time to go to college, I went in fine arts as a studio art major.
Toledo, Ohio, there was a discotheque. His roommate came into town and he wanted to show him the town. There's a small group of us outside and we started talking. And as I'm leaving, he says, "I'm gonna call you." We started dating, and once we were serious, he figured he could not support a family with art.
I changed course completely, withdrew from school there, transferred to Michigan State, got in the turf management program.
So I married a golf course superintendent, thinking I'm gonna live in a cute little house on the golf course, which is what I was promised.
I was doing an internship at the Inverness Club, which was getting ready for the U.S. Open in 1979. And Tom Fazio at that time was under contract with the USGA to do any kind of modifications to the tournament sites.
So he was there, building ditches, working equipment. Mike had an incredible work ethic. And Andy Bamfield was the on-site supervisor, and he spotted Mike.
Mike's over there feeling out the dirt.
He loved creating.
He's got his paint, so look out.
From the shovel to a bulldozer to a pen, he had attention to detail.
I guess he saw that I had some kind of talent and told Tom about it.
And Fazio flew into town, talked to Mike for probably a space of 15 minutes and hired him.
One thing led to another. The day after the U.S. Open, I was on a plane to Hilton Head working for Tom.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to thank you for joining us here at Travel today.
Golf course architect is a hard way to make an easy living, and Mike was really conflicted about being away from his family.
He would get on a flight Sunday night or Monday morning, come back Friday night. He hated the stress of running between airports and finishing up a job and then jumping on an airplane to go home. When Andrea came, I think the traveling and the stress really got to him. So that's when he quit Fazio.
Well, here we are, first day of 1999. Look who we run into out here at Tot Hill. Tell me about this little gal you got here. Come here. Who we got here? Yes.
Andrea.
Mike was thrilled to have children.
I'm Dana.
Dana.
I'm the oldest.
You're the captain, huh?
He said that was the best thing he ever did was to have those two girls.
I was such a lucky kid, like just had a happy childhood. I had a mom and a dad who I could tell adored each other.
The head of the company.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear.
Real boss.
He had a presence without saying anything.
I just remember thinking and knowing that I could tell my dad anything. Looking back on it as an adult, amazing to have the two of them.
I was a painter and I shared a studio with my dad, and so when I was doing art and he was drawing, that was kind of our quality time. It was a quiet love.
I got cool opportunities to go with my dad out on site for a week at a time. I didn't really understand how beautiful it was until I saw it, and I remember being like, oh my gosh. No wonder he wants to be here. You're closer to God here, I think.
Mike believed in having 18 signature holes. So wherever you were on this golf course, he wanted you to turn and see something beautiful.
That was right around the era when Fazio, Nicklaus, and Dye were dominating the industry, but it's right about the same time when Core Crenshaw, Tom Doak, and others were just starting the minimalist movement. And he was really interesting because he was doing sort of a crossover between the two. He wasn't doing Fazio stuff, but he wasn't truly doing minimalist stuff because he was moving a lot of dirt, and he was doing incredibly bold features.
We're moving the dirt out there.
Back before the advent of all the high-tech earth-moving equipment, you really had to spend a lot of time looking at contours, and a lot of the golf holes are routed through valleys and that kind of thing because they didn't have the capability to move that kind of dirt. I tend to look the same way. I like that feel of being down and going through valleys, and it's almost like you're creating an environment and people are playing golf inside of the environment rather than just saying, okay, I'm going to go out and build a golf course.
Mike had that ability to create those simpler lines that had movement in them, but they were not boring.
He really melded the two eras together. He's the only guy that's done that.
I tell you, 150 yards carry that tree from here? Huh? Come on, Strantz. Huh? You hit it a long way, son.
You can't help it, you can't hit it far.
I tell you one thing, it's a spectacular spot right here.
Mike wanted a challenge when he golfed. He wanted the experience. So that's what he designed. He designed an experience.
He said, if you don't want a challenge, then just stay on your country club. He just kind of like didn't give a shit what your opinion was. This is his art. He thought it was cool. Take it or leave it.
Mike was this larger-than-life maverick, and there's very few people that are willing to take the chances that he did. Mike was a tremendous artist. He would sketch out on a pad as we were talking, and in a matter of 20, 30 minutes, he would have the most detailed, beautiful sketch you've ever seen, and he would just say, try to build that. Mike became my mentor and the guy that taught me how to shape.
Yeah, the guys that work for Mike, they helped us reshape Mike and Jeff, the 18th hole at Wall Dunes. Yeah, this is a sketch that Mike gave me, and this was a hole that we shaped together in 1979.
He loved working with the guys on the golf course. I mean, it was a fraternity.
Hey, tell me, what's going on today, Mike?
Getting number 3 opened up. Finally see the big rock behind us, and everybody's kind of getting excited about this hole. It's going to be real different.
Mike was one of the few architects that when you got to work, he'd be one of the first ones there and one of the last ones to leave.
He hung out with the golf course shapers, and that is how he got such good results. And that was part of the reward.
What's the project today? What are we looking at down here, fellas?
Driving range.
Down here at the driving range.
Trying to narrow in the driving range, get that baby figured out.
He hired good guys, people just like himself.
Well, the Jones boys, hey. Hey, Jeffo.
What you need?
Tell me what's going on, buddy.
There was no titles. We was working as a team, trying to get it done together as a team.
To have somebody who's there mucking in the field with you, just as hot as you are, just as tired as you are, to be right there. I mean, that is a leader.
We was working at Tot Hill Farm, and him and Forrest fixed a really good margarita. And he took a swallow of his margarita, and I was like, what's wrong? He said, I think I bit my tongue in my sleep or something.
He went to our family doctor. He's young. Can't be cancer. But it was.
He did all his treatments and it was rough.
The strongest man you know in every way is crumbling.
I knew continuing to work would just hasten his demise. But I'm not going to tell him don't work. Not Mike Strantz.
We started working at Monterey. That's when Mike was going through so much.
He was so sick. He had already had radiation, already had surgery. He would do chemo in Charleston, go out to Monterey, and he would have chemo out there.
I have memories of us going out there as a family.
We would wake up and sit at this table and count whale spouts that would go by and just have these really sweet moments.
Right toward the end of finishing the job, he and Forrest were sitting there in a cart, and the sun was starting to go down, and he looked at Forrest and he said, I just wish I could keep doing this forever.
15 on Monterey. It was the last one he designed, and he told Forrest, sit.
He was towards the very end, and he asked Andy and I to come out to see him. At that point, he had had major surgery and he couldn't talk. He was writing on a piece of paper, and he said how much he loved me and how proud he was of me.
For him to have the courage to say, Andy, I'm not going to make it. I'm leaving. I wanted to say goodbye.
He was just sad. He followed his dream. He worked so hard. He built this house to just finally settle down and not work any longer and spend time with his family. And right when that time came, it got taken from him.
We had a family service in the memorial a few days later.
They say they've never seen so many men cry at a funeral. They were all very close.
He meant everything to us.
Hey, buddy.
Been a while, hasn't it?
Hey, Michael. Good to see you, bud.
Same here.
To this day, I still talk about Mike a lot.
Hey, I dig
Caught
you.
me again.
Yeah, I caught him again. Look at him. Got his paintbrush in his hand there.
What Mike did, you know, just amazing.
He was an incredible artist, but he was a really, really incredible man.
I adored Mike Strantz. Everybody adored Mike Strantz.
He's one of a kind.
Just a great, hard-working man.
And I know that he would be so proud if he were here.
Well, y'all did some riding today?
Yeah, went for a nice ride today.
Tell me about these horses we got around here, buddy. Who is that rolling over there?
That's Cheeser rolling there.
Cheesley. There's Scout coming here.
Oh, now we're gonna play a little bit. You think you got them worn out and they're still ready to go.
Well, what about the golf game?
Did he say the other day?
What?
I run into him at 5T at Tobacco Road. My man is 4 under after 5 holes.
How many mulligans you take?
He doesn't need him. It's disgusting how good he still plays golf.
I just want people to know that it's a team effort. The guys that work with me, we feel like family. We go everywhere together, and they never get credit for what they do. I mean, none of this stuff would be here without them.